This is Nick Baisley from FilmSnobbery.com, and I am at the Palm Springs Short Festival. I forgot where I was for like a half a second, but we're back. We're on track, people. Who am I here with, though?
I am Will Thompson. I am the writer-director of Pauline in a Beautiful World.
And who is this young lady?
I'm Caitlin Mehner, and I play Pauline.
Yeah, you are. And you are?
My name is Ema Ryan Yamazaki. I'm the producer and editor for this film.
So many wonderful-looking people here. Where to start? Let's start with you, and let's tell us a little bit about what the movie's about.
Have you ever had a dream so beautiful and real that when you wake up you can still feel
it? You will not disgrace me, my mother or her mother, because of some childish whim.
Miss Pauline Adams.
Are you okay? Only it isn't a dream. It's real.
Sure, the film is about a Southern debutante who rips away from her very rigid society in a small town and falls in love with this dream world that's all in her head, basically.
Southern debutante. You, young lady?
That would be me.
And did you go the full Gone with the Wind on this one and just be like, I do declare?
Not quite, but I would like to at some point.
You want to do that, huh? It is fun. I pull a nice Rhett Butler. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. You know? How about yourself? You are a producer. What would you say you do? Because everyone, nebulous, it's a nebulous title. You know, what does a producer actually do in your estimation?
Right, well, for this film, I went from, scheduling everything to kind of basically making sure that Will, as the director, didn't have to worry about anything except dealing with the actors, which was a big deal. We had a 10-day shoot, all overnights in the middle of nowhere, Georgia, where like the Walmart closes at 10 p.m., so you're basically screwed after that for anything, and just trying to make people happy all the time. That was my job for this film.
I would say what a producer does, to answer your question, is that they have to create miracles every day, and if they're doing that, they are only doing their job.
I like that. That's a fantastic answer. And did she succeed in doing that job? Were you only worried about working with just the actors and finishing the movie?
I was fortunate enough for that to be the case, yeah. She did a swimming job of it. Yeah.
Swimming job. That's the most diplomatic answer I've ever heard in my life. I love it. No, that's fantastic. Now, you're the writer of this film as well. Where'd you get the idea from?
Well, really, it's, I'm from Georgia, and I have a lot of family based in the South and in Georgia. And so the concept for this film is really based on my family's experience kind of living and existing in the small town in Georgia called Thompson. And it's just such a strange, bizarre, isolated place where these crazy characters and, these very strange details actually do exist. And really it's just kind of combining that with my own fascination for the power of dreams. And just how they can really have a grip on you after you wake up, and you still feel so affected and emotionally kind of changed. And they were just a dream; they were just in your head, but they feel real.
Two questions. One, will the South indeed rise again? And two, do you feel that what affected your writing on this? Did you have a dream about this? About something like this, and you were affected by it, even if it's a dream, not in the physical kind of, or like I'm sleeping, I had a dream, but like you have the dream of like I wanted to be a filmmaker, and how does that affect your writing in something like this, of like this person that's trying to attain something, but either by escapism or something else? I mean, is there where do you as the writer, the creator, the director fit into these characters?
Well, really, because I wasn't born in Georgia. I grew up in Connecticut until I was 7 and moved to Georgia. So I actually felt kind of a culture shock moving down there, but I have, like, it's really where my family is rooted. So I felt this kind of weird, out of place position, just growing up there. So I really think, my kind of energy for the character of Pauline came from feeling like I don't really fit in here, and maybe there's something out there that's better. I don't know where it is. Maybe it doesn't actually exist, but maybe it's somewhere that exists just in my own head. That's somewhere I can escape to.
Fantastic, and we have questions for you now. And what the audience doesn't know is that I'm going to tell them now, because that's a whole exposition thing. Is that I've known Caitlin online and through other work for years at this point, and this is the first time I've actually gotten a chance to sit down and meet her in person, and I couldn't be happier. I'm absolutely so psyched. So in my mind, I have all these real poignant and awesome questions we're going to ask. Totally throwing those out, and I'm just going to ask about your character. You're an actress. You do, dialects is a part of different things you have to do. How did you get as authentic as you could with that character? Was it talking to him about, people that he's dealt with and kind of getting an accent from him, or how did you handle, making the character sound real from that area?
I think it's different with every film, and I've had to do films where the accent is incredibly important, and I find the easiest way to do that is to find someone from there and start to learn that way. We discussed with this film, in the Atlanta area, a lot of people don't have a strong accent, and there is a trend in a younger generation. For example, Will, I don't hear an accent. His parents, I hear an accent. And this is a trend in our generation. So we made the decision to have an incredibly slight accent with the younger generation, and for the older generation to have much more of a thicker Georgia accent.
You guys really thought that out. That's really impressive. I like that. There's depth to that. That's fantastic. And now, did you... You went to school at Brown. Did you study acting there?
I studied history of theater and applied math. I don't know why.
That makes sense. Sure. Let's go with that and say, did you want to act in theater, or did you ever, what got you into film?
I did my first show when I was 2. So I've kind of been doing it for a long time, and I thought if I was going to pay to go to university, I should do something that I wasn't already doing professionally, and that I knew when I was going to college I was going to be an actor. So I thought it would be wise to study something to expand my skill set.
And Rhode Island is where Brown is, which is right near my area there, Massachusetts, and we were talking about accents. So do you ever get the Wicked Pissa, the Pak the Ka, which are always the stereotypes? I've always preferred the two lesser known ones, the Winta-Bita and the Triple Deca. Yeah, you don't know. I don't know if you know that one. Our dialect's hard. I know that when I'm in an area for a long period of time, I'll pick up an accent. I used to live in Australia. I picked up the accent, which actually isn't far removed from Boston or Massachusetts for that matter. It's just up more nasal. They don't do R's either. But do you have a problem at all ever with, getting somewhere where there's an accent that you're like, it's just particularly tough that you've tried to, I try to nail it, and no matter what I do, I just can't get that one?
Sure, I think there are some that are more difficult than others. I have traveled a lot growing up. I lived kind of all over the place, and I find that my father has this problem as well. It's maybe where I got it from, where we will meet someone and immediately start speaking in their accent, and it's unintentional and it sounds very offensive. And I have to work constantly not to do that. So I've just been very lucky that that's not as much of a challenge for me. There are certain accents, and it's funny you said Australian, because for some reason the difference between Australian and New Zealand I have a bit more of a hard time hearing.
I have a hard time hearing that one as well. It's just because there are very subtle differences. Not to them, obviously. It's just like, how can you not hear Kiwi, or whatever. It's, But if I were to go like Boston or something like that, I can't believe I'm going to do a damn accent on camera. But if I was going to do there's Boston, there's the Pak the Ka and have it yeah type of thing, which is totally, if I'm talking to my parents, it comes out immediately when I talk to my mother. I was in front of someone recently, and I was like, I got to make a phone call to my mom. I picked up the phone. I was like, hey Ma, how you doing? And it's just like, Like, yeah, she's like, which one is fake? Like, which, actually, I'm like, they're both totally real. It's just that, like, I just slip into that with my mom. But Australia's very similar. She's like, yeah, we got to go pack the car, the paddy crash up there. Then we're going to go take a walk down to uni and we're going to go to class. It's a completely different thing, but it's just the same thing all up in the nose. And no, Foster's is not Australian for beer. Not that you young people would know that. No, kidding. No. Of age, I think. It's people. I don't know. Let's talk about you. So not many people in the film industry set out and go like, I want to produce. Did you want to produce, or do you have aspirations of your own to actually direct things in the future?
I never really wanted to produce, and this is really the only film I have ever produced. I'm mainly an editor, and I also edited this film. I also mainly work in documentaries. So this is this film came out of a film school thing. It was Will and I both went to film school together, so it was kind of a collaboration that happened through that. I was totally into it. I learned a lot, and then also learned that I never want to be a producer like that. So for me, I am a director when I direct my own documentaries. I also produce my own documentaries, but for the fiction world, I've learned that I'm kind of better at making stories that already exist better through editing rather than trying to create or help create the things that don't exist already.
That's a fantastic answer. I want to talk about your documentaries thing for a second. What is it about the documentary form that you prefer over narrative?
I think, in many ways, like Will and I are very opposite, where he found things in his head that he wished he was at or something. For me, I've always only been interested in the real world. So I never have had stories I want to tell that's in my head. I grew up, kind of traveling a lot and got to see a lot of things. And I think I just find I never really plug in or really don't watch that many movies. I'm just kind of interested in like things that are happening around me or, maybe in the news, the journalistic side of things. So I guess it's just where my interest lies. I don't know.
That's interesting though, because I'm sure that from your editing, there's a certain way that you probably approach things that aren't typical to the way a lot of editors or producers. It's probably more grounded in finding the reality of the story, even though you're telling a fantastic story. Fantastic being there's fantasy elements. As opposed to also being fantastic, a good story. So you edited the film. Did you feel that the editing, I'm not going to say, did you feel the editing was good, in front of her? We'll totally talk about that off camera. But no. But did you feel that, because of her preferences in film and in, what she likes to work in, did you feel that helped your film and helped develop it into the final product of what it is?
Yes. I think, interestingly, because, documentary is kind of a passion for Emma, this film is not at all really trying to mimic or really reflect in an exact way reality. So I think that was actually quite liberating to work with Emma in the edit, because we weren't restricted by, this isn't a world that we're trying to pass off as our own. This is a world that is kind of a sense or like a strange memory of a world that may not exist. So it's not really about trying to force it into this is how things actually are. We had that ability, as we were editing, to say, this isn't real life. So we can kind of do our own thing with it and see just what works that way.
Now let's talk film festivals for a brief second. So we have 3 of you here. All 3 of you, you're with the same movie, but that's really about where the similarities end. You're a writer-director, you're an actress, you're a producer-editor. And at film festivals, there's always a lot to do. There's the networking part of it. There's the festival aspect of having people watch your movie, obviously, and then there's in this case, there's a film market as well. So you could sell your film here. But when you're here, does your mission kind of all coincide, or do you look at it as an opportunity to network and find other people to work with, yourself, other acting projects or directors you might want to work with in the future, and yourself? Do you look at a movie and just go I could have done that better? Like the editing on that shit. I'm going to contact them and redo it. No. Is there kind of you're here to support one movie, but do you kind of ever look at different opportunities that may be present at the festivals?
I think that's almost more about the festival is really what you can do to network, what you can do to meet new people who may not be immediately someone who you want to work with, but may surface years down the road. So I think that is a huge part of festivals, and this festival particularly, which is all about short films, which is rare. So everyone is kind of on that same plane. No one is being upstaged by feature films or marginalizing the shorts. So everyone here is a short film maker. But being able to connect with, all of the industry types, all of the, the other agents or managers, or even producers who are looking for new projects. This is a great place to meet those people. So totally, it's like a golden opportunity.
I only came here really to see Caitlin anyway, but how about yourself? I mean, do you kind of echo the sentiments, or do you kind of also look out for other opportunities?
I mean, I only came here to see you and do this interview. I'm going to fly back to New York like right afterwards. So, no.
I hope not.
I think for me, I haven't been to a festival in a while, but as you know, we used to travel with them a lot, and it's just really wonderful to take a breath and celebrate the work of filmmakers and artists, and that's really satisfying to me. So yeah, you can meet some people you get along with that there could be potential collaboration in the future, but for me it's wonderful to see new work and celebrate other artists. That's why I like being here.
That's a fantastic answer. How about yourself? Beat that is what I'm going to try to say.
Gosh, I don't know about that, but I mean, for me, again, and it's also cool. I mean, I'm not like dissing other people's editing. I don't do that, but like it's as
You totally should. It's fun.
I think because I am an editor, I've had the opportunity to edit a lot of shorts, and I'm kind of like I was at the point where I'm kind of so critical of them. Like I only see like one good short every few months and whatever, and I was kind of not that I didn't really have like high expectations or anything, and the quality of shorts here has been kind of like a refreshing thing. Like I've been amazed at some of the shorts, and I was kind of like getting jaded in the short film industry. I was like ready to and so it's kind of given me like a new insight into like because I think there are stories that are best told in short form, and it's kind of like ignited like a fire like within me, I think, to kind of like reevaluate some of the things that I was putting to the side because they're short films. I think there is a place for them here in the industry. So.
It's fantastic. Well, I want to thank all of you guys. I should say, first, where's the film going next?
Next up, it's anybody's guess. The only festival that we have locked in at this point is the Central Florida Film Festival, which is over Labor Day.
Fantastic.
But at this point, it's we're still waiting to find out about some of the other festivals. So
It's okay. You got this one and you got the other one. You're good. It's good. That's just the start. It's a long road, and you guys, it's going to be a fun ride. You get all your festival buddies.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're happy to have our world premiere here. So, the next couple of steps are going to be exciting ones, I'm sure.
Fantastic. I want to thank everyone for stopping by and walking by, go like, it's Nick, and then sitting down and actually letting me grill you guys, some more than others. I don't know. You were my fall guy in this interview for some reason. I apologize, but no, you're obviously the most professional. No, you were obviously like the most well prepared. I'm just going to keep flattering her until she likes me again, because I feel like I picked on her the whole time. But no, I want to thank you guys for coming in. I really appreciate it. It was so great to meet you finally in person, and so great to meet you as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing the movie and yourself as well. And I look forward to looking at your other projects that you guys do in the future. And good luck on the rest of the festival circuit.
Thank you so much, Nick. Appreciate it.